So, you want to be a Yusheng Do, but you can't. Your times are close to 1 minute. So, how do you get good at cubing? First step, learn one of these methods. CFOP, Roux, and ZZ are the best of the best when it comes to solving 3x3 fast. These methods have harbored great cubers. But what are these methods? CFOP is the easiest to learn when coming from the beginner's method. It takes on the simple but effective layer-by-layer method. It starts the same as the beginner's method, with the cross, but then ranges out of the beginner's comfort zone with F2L, OLL, and PLL. Each one has very specific cases with very specific algorithms. The full OLL has a total of 54 algorithms. Luckily, there's an alternative. 2-look CFOP is the same as normal CFOP, but with way less algorithms. OLL and PLL are both divided into 2 steps. Not as fast as normal CFOP, but it can get times up to 30 seconds.
Who are you looking at?
This will prepare you for learning full CFOP, but that's not the only 3x3 method. Roux is a bit different. Instead of solving the cross first, you solve 2 layers on 2 sides, which gives the Roux solver the advantage of M moves. Next, you solve the corners on the last layer, then last is the last 6 edges. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't know a lot about Roux. But what about ZZ? ZZ would seem to be the most efficient method, in that the main thing about ZZ is you don't have to turn the cube. It is also a layer-by-layer method, but there are no cube rotations. The first step is to do the EO line, which means you won't have to rotate the cube anymore. Next is F2L, which is very similar to CFOP, other than the fact that you won't rotate. Then you do the last layer, but since you can't turn the cube, you use alternative algorithms. Learning algorithms is the hardest part of learning these methods. Take, for example, a G-perm. Not only is the algorithm long, but the time it could take to recognize which case you have is PB shattering. The most efficient way to learning algorithms is to memorize them, then do them without a reference sheet a bunch of times until the algorithm is locked in your muscle memory. If you watch cubing videos, you probably know that some of the world record times are ruined by the WCA rules. Penalties like +2s and DNFs get in the way of some people trying to get a benchmark solved. The best way to combat this happening is to get used to the cube you use. Magnetization also helps for not getting +2s. Make sure to not stop the timer unless you're certain the cube is solved. The most trivial part of cubing is practicing. Without practice, even Felix would probably be getting times over a minute. There's not much to it. If you solve more often, you'll see that your norm is getting smaller and smaller. Every time you get better in a competition, you're one step closer to getting the world record. So now you're informed and you want to know which method to do. Good times come from all the methods, so the best thing to do is to pick the one you like best. In the end, we cube not just to get good times, but to be a part of a community of people who can do something extraordinary. When you hang out in the cubing community for a while, you forget how big of a deal it is to be able to solve one of the hardest puzzles of the last century. Now, you're ready to break the world record.
Oh, I'm so shocked and sad.